Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Untitled Nerd Show. We are back with me, Player 22. I am AD. This is Tara.
Hello.
This is Chris.
Yo.
And we are here with Nerdy Farmer.
Hi, guys.
So, let's jump right in to our first topic 2019 review. Actually, who wants to go first?
This is where we talk about the lists.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Soul Creek, how you doing, bud?
What's up, Soul Creek? I gotta pull
So
the
just
chat
to
up.
recap, for those of us who have slept since then, we are covering our
Just top
best
is,
and worst of the year.
yeah, or
Yeah,
you
I may
for
have
you all
gone
time.
above and beyond.
Right.
I'll start. It's my topic.
Okay.
Natural Born Gamers is a good tag.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hey, gamer.
We call him NBG
I like that.
NBG, yep.
You down with MBG?
or Nate, the Nate, like Ric Flair.
Woo!
Good.
So
not me, because I want to share our stream on Facebook real quick. So
Okay.
somebody besides me go first.
I'll start off. Do we want the good news first or the bad news?
You always start with bad news.
Yeah, let's start with the bad
let's
news.
your top worst and see how they are.
Well, I think everybody knows my top worst game of 2019.
I do. Does it
I
start with
actually
a
don't.
kingdom and end with hearts?
Oh, no, yeah, that's probably,
Yeah. All right.
probably it.
But I don't think there's much more to say on that game. Fuck that game.
I think you've said everything I think the only game that pisses you off more than that would be the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, we'll see. That'll be it.
My commentary on that, though, in legitimate observation, is that the core people that produced Kingdom Hearts 3 forgot who they were making the game for.
Yeah.
I would agree with that statement.
Yep. They lost themselves.
They had an opportunity to really come through, and they didn't.
Okay. Fuck Kingdom Hearts 3. So we talked about this earlier. Blair Witch was a huge disappointment for me. I heard good things about it.
Oh, I never did get to see.
I heard good things about it. You know, when I shut up.
Well,
fuck, dude.
I told you what I was doing.
Tara's got sound coming through her phone. Sorry.
Continue.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was hoping it to be. It was
to put it into context real quick, did you see the original movie?
No. Well, I saw enough of it.
Yeah, I
Anybody
watched
else?
it, but I don't remember details.
The Blair Witch series never really interested me. I'm not a big horror movie guy in the first place, but Blair Witch definitely was not interesting to me. But I know
I was a huge fan of the Blair Witch movies.
Okay. So wait, have you? I know it's on your list too. Have you played the game or?
I have watched you do the playthrough. I have watched other people do the playthrough. After seeing all that, I refused to download it, but it did make it onto my list.
So it's not only the story that's disappointing to me. Like the endings were super disappointing. Like they call it, the good ending, the bad ending, but they both suck. But overall, just the gameplay, mechanically, that game made me fucking hate the dog. Okay? I don't fucking hate dogs.
That's pretty serious.
That fucking dog in that game was so
Later, gamer.
horrible. It was so bugged. And the mechanics were just, I don't know, it was bad. Okay, that's enough on that game. Now, my last three most disappointing games are probably going to be controversial because they're popular games, or somewhat at least. Gears 5. Not that it's necessarily bad, but I guess it's just not really what I was expecting, and I didn't really enjoy it as much.
I can see it. Gears has become very stale.
Yeah.
and then they tried to spice it up from what I can tell. I haven't played it yet. I like Gears, but I haven't really been a huge Gears fan. From what I understand, how they tried to spice it up really wasn't that spicy. To be entirely honest, it seemed like.
Yeah,
Had you played the others, AD?
Gears?
Uh-huh.
I played like Gears 1 or 2 a long time ago with a friend. Just maybe a little bit, but not fully. But just the overall gameplay, I'm not really impressed with the whole cover system and stuff like that. Not for me.
Okay.
So another one is Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yep.
I know you've played that. How do you feel about that game?
Well, how do I put it? It made, because I made two separate lists. I made top worst and then top 5 most disappointing.
Yeah.
It made it to my top 5 most disappointing.
Yeah.
It was number 4 top 5 disappointing. But the problem was with Ghost Recon was they just didn't flesh it out enough. Like, it's fun to play with my friends.
Yeah.
Like I played a lot of it with Gamer, Natural Born Gamer. A lot of fun to do that, just go around the world and just do things. But it's an empty world. That's the biggest complaint I would say. They didn't flesh out stuff, and then the AI is just it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. And that for that reason alone, it makes the game kind of a grind, and a grueling grind at that, because they did the gear system really well. I mean, all of that is really well. It's fun and exciting to get new equipment and new stuff and upgrades. But the loot isn't enough to carry it forward. That's the problem. It just, the gameplay itself doesn't make you want to go forward. They tried to do something cool with the story by bringing in what's his face from the Punisher and The Walking Dead.
John,
I can't remember
something.
Yeah, they brought him in, and he did a phenomenal job as an actor, but he couldn't pull it forward. And let's be honest, he's no Keanu. So, I mean, he tried, but I just think overall they just made some very big missteps on the game. And because of that, it just didn't do as well as it needed to do. On top of the fact that a lot of people, myself not included, because I like Ubisoft's style and their formula for open world games, but a lot of people are getting tired of that stale formula of here's a giant map with 10 billion things to do on it. People are getting tired of that.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about on our first show with Assassin's Creed. Is I felt like that's what they were trying to do with it, and it doesn't work for that game. But on Ghost Recon, like that's kind of how I felt about it. Like, it's fun to play, and I love like the stealth system of it, because I've always been a stealth guy. But I actually I wasn't a fan of the loot system or like the gear system, because it's such a hassle having to like switch all your gear out for all of your presets every time you pick up something new, and you're picking up something new like all the time, so it's like constant, and then you can't like get rid of something old because it's in one of your old presets, so you got to go switch to that preset and then empty all that shit out. So it was kind of tedious for me.
Soul Creek says 10 billion question marks to check off, not even to do something.
Yeah, I know a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to fault people feeling that way. I like that, though. People watch me play The Witcher 3 and just go to every single check mark just to check off the check marks. It's satisfying to me, but
I can see that. I'm a check mark checker in life. I'll put things I've already done on my to-do list just so I can cross them off.
So I'm a completionist in video games as long as it's worth doing. As long as I know I can enjoy all the grinding, but there are some games where it's just like, I'm sick of doing this shit, Okay. So last on my list. Wait, did you have something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Last on my list is Mortal Kombat 11.
Wow, really?
And no, hold on. I know this is probably going to be the biggest surprise. It's not for the gameplay. It's not for the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's, and I wish Pavin was here because he would appreciate this. It is for the lack of boobages.
Really?
It is no, and it's not just. I say it as a joke. It's not just the lack of boobages. It's the fact that they obviously did this to be more like PC,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's a fucking video game. It's fantasy. Keep it as a fantasy, you know? Like, if you're gonna tone down the women, then why are the men still fucking like
Fighting in their underwear?
super buff, like 300 pounds of muscle and shit?
Okay, so you went
Like,
the same standard across the board.
yeah. Like
That's
this and like it's Mortal Kombat is obviously, you know, American made game. You don't see any Japanese games leaving their fucking roots in that way, you know? DOA still bouncing boobies everywhere, freaking Street Fighter and whatever else you got out there. Tekken.
I mean, as a female, I tend to agree. Like, as long as the standard's the same, I think we're good. And I'm also all for the fantasy part of it, especially the kind of game that Mortal Kombat is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, when I first saw the trailer and saw Katana, I was like, this is the most like standard looking Asian chick I've ever seen.
It was crude Katana.
Like, yeah, like this is just a normal as fuck looking Asian chick.
Soul Creek says they uglified them.
Yeah,
They did ugly them.
Sonya. Oh my god, Sonya. Like, probably one of the most iconic fighting game female characters. You know, known for her, you know, hotness,
her sexy badass,
sexiness, just completely toned down into just regular chick.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of this gaming culture that we're having right now, where everybody is attacking. I mean, look at what they did to, or not did to it, but look how much they attacked the Code Vein series.
Oh yeah,
they went after that like a bunch of fucking wolves in a feeding frenzy. It was just nuts.
And this goes, I think, hand in hand with something we've talked about. I believe it was the last show.
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about including non-straight relationships just for the sake of including non-straight relationships. Yep. Like, to me, it's the same issue. You're trying too hard.
Yes, I agree. Like if a character has been known throughout the franchise to be this sexy, sex appeal, sex icon with giant boobies flopping around, you know,
then let her be that.
Let her be that. If you want to create another character who's you know, body beautiful, chunky girl with curves, then create a new character. Do that. Don't change your other characters to fit that narrative.
Yeah,
that's not okay.
I mean, like, think in contrast. Like, can you imagine if they did what they did here to fucking Tifa in Final Fantasy? Like, man,
people would riot.
I know.
People would riot.
Okay, yeah, that's my 5 most disappointing list.
Okay, I can do my 5 most disappointing. Or bad, however you want to do it. I'm gonna start from the bottom.
Start from the bottom. That's how we do it.
So, all right, number 5 is a game that I didn't even take the time to play because it was just that bad, and I was a fan of the franchise, and they just butchered it. Wolfenstein Youngbloods.
I did play that actually. I had not played any of the previous Wolfensteins, but I've heard a lot of disappointment with that game with Youngblood, but I actually enjoyed it. So I don't know.
They kind of went so far in left field with that, away from what Wolfenstein was back in the day.
Yeah,
that it just was bad, and it was so cringeworthy. Like, yeah, dude. Oh, right, man. Yeah, dude. And it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, that was a little.
Just fuck off.
Yeah.
So that was number 5, and it just barely made the list because I hadn't played it, but it just pissed me off so bad.
Yeah.
Number 4 was the Blair Witch. We've already kind of talked about that one.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm going to say is I was a huge Blair Witch fan, and they fucked it up. All right, here's one that a lot of people probably forgot even existed. The Elder Scrolls Blades.
I played that. I actually have. I played that a lot in the 2019.
The mobile game
yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. I think I played that for all of a week and then moved on to other interests because it was boring and dull. And
I played it because
it was
I
a cash grab. It was 100% a cash grab.
Yep.
Wait, is this a
mobile game?
Cell phone game?
Yeah.
So like
We'll
it
get
just. Oh my god. Where is? Oh, hold on, give me a second. I'm getting 10 billion doo-doos. Who the hell is talking so much? And they need to shut up.
I'm glad to say I only spent $10 on that, and that was like on the first discount package that they offered.
I don't think I spent any money on it because I don't spend money on video games like that, which is probably why I didn't get anywhere with it.
Yeah, well, it made my top 5 list because it was such a cash grab. It was a crappy game to begin with. And to be entirely honest, why the hell they're wasting their time on fucking mobile shit other than to make money? You know, it's just another nail in Bethesda's coffin, and they have another game on my list. So, yeah, not okay with that one. Number 2.
Hold on. Soul Creek says his negative would be Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Yeah, but that releases
January.
Now.
Yeah.
We're doing 2019. All right.
We'll come back to that Soul Creek.
Well, I actually have a whole topic to talk
a year
about
from
that
now.
Soul Creek. That was actually on my topic of things to talk about today. But all right, number 2, top 5 worst games of 2019, Anthem. The utter complete dumpster fire that is Anthem.
Yeah.
A game that they could have done so much with, could have had so much fun with, and done so many cool things with, and they just screwed the pooch on. I was one of those people who had one of the few games I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered Anthem. I was excited for Anthem. It looked like something could be really awesome for. And it came out, and it was like, this is it? Where's the game? This isn't even the stuff you showed us at E3 and all these trailers. Where is it? So, yeah. Total fuck up.
Anthem was definitely a wait and see approach with me, and I felt like I was just left waiting, so I never really got excited about it.
Yeah. I feel like they screwed the, like, BioWare is dead to me in many ways. Unless they redeem themselves hugely with the next Dragon Age, which I'm not even sure will ever see the light of day, they're dead. They're dead to me.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything worthwhile. And I was even really forgiving for Mass Effect Andromeda, which a lot of people weren't. I was kind of forgiving on it, but Anthem, yeah, that put the nail in the coffin. So, but the top worst game for 2019 for me was a game that I was super excited for. It is the second Bethesda game on the list, Rage 2.
Yep, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about that.
Rage 1 was kind of a cult classic. I played Rage 1. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely a cult classic game. I enjoyed it. Bethesda hyped up Rage 2 to such extent, and I was hook, line, and sinker. They had me hooked. You know, they had me following them through it. I was ready to go. I had pre-ordered it. That was the second game I pre-ordered in 2019. I stopped pre-ordering completely after that. But yeah, I was like, okay, let me see. It's going to be awesome. I even had I played on launch. I had special artwork done, all this stuff. And then I got into the game, and it was just it was not fun. The world was empty. The driving mechanics were just clunky. And there was a big portion of the game that you had to do driving stuff. The quests the story was non-existent. The characters were just cringy. It was just bad all the way around. And it just blew my mind how awful it was. And I know a lot of people say Fallout 76 was the nail in the coffin for Bethesda for them. Rage 2 is it for me. After Rage 2, everything that Bethesda makes from here on out, it's not, I'm excited to see it. It's, oh God, I hope they don't fuck it up.
Yeah. We got a lot of work to do.
That's an understatement.
Okay, so that was your 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tara, what do you got?
So I again reiterating that I'm new, so a lot of the games I played in 2019 were not from 2019. In fact, they were from like
The past decade, at
a
least.
time
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah,
So
that's fair though.
I don't have a good organized ranking. I just have kind of a group of games. I don't have them ordered.
Okay.
But I'll say that the top game that I played that really...
We were doing a bottom game first.
Well, right, but it's the top of the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Is gonna have to be... Oh my god.
Beyond Two Souls, Detroit, Heavy Rain.
Detroit.
Okay.
Wait,
and
the robot game?
Yes.
No, they're androids.
They're androids.
They're real people.
They're people too.
They have
nerdy.
feelings.
So while I can say that they did a good job of getting you invested in seeing how the story plays out.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was there's a lot there, but the whole thing, the whole concept that the game is built around is that they're basically trying to do this metaphor for racial discrimination or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they did it through androids. The problem is an android, a robot, is not that. Just it wasn't. The analogy didn't work. They didn't really test that theory before they did it.
Didn't get like an emotional connection like you would have with a person.
Yep.
So Creek, I would just use the letter N and see if that goes through. I'm not comfortable with allowing that. But yeah, I agree with what you said. Yeah, Detroit. See, my thing with Detroit is it's a good game. It's a well built game as far as the choice system and the hundreds and hundreds of different paths that you can take. But it just doesn't. The story just kills everything. The
story kills it.
I think the gameplay is what killed it for me. I was kind of sort of maybe interested in the game until I saw somebody doing a little gameplay, and one of the quests was they had to clean up the house and do the dishes.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I don't even like doing that in real life. Why the hell would I want to do that in a video game?
Yeah, it's a common thing with those types of games, those type of QTE games, because they're just kind of getting you used to the different actions and shit. That's their way of doing it. But
also, I feel like they need to add like action in there, so they just add random activities, like
Yeah.
So then I will say that Beyond Two Souls was another. I have a problem with Beyond Two Souls for a couple reasons. Number one,
Beyond Two Souls is what game? I don't remember.
It's another David Cage game with Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, some kind of I can't even explain the story.
Essentially, she has like this twin brother whose spirit follows her.
That's a spoiler. You're not supposed to know it's a twin brother.
Well, after 10 years, I think the cat's out of the bag, right?
Spoiler alert for the shitty game that no one's ever going to play.
So anyway, my issue with that is that there again is some serious concept issues. Basically the turning point for the main character that sends her down this, rebel path, if you will, is not realistic. It you don't just all of a sudden, like, I don't know. It, without knowing the game, it's hard to go into the semantics on that. But basically, like, there's that point where the game, you realize this character has changed and they're now on this new path, and it didn't work. And then I have an issue with the way that the game ends. You have at the ending, big spoiler alert, you have a choice on basically whether you want to continue living or not.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this, Tara: is it just the story itself in these two games, or the message behind the story that kills it for you, or is it the style of this game? Because I would ask, what's the difference between this game and, say, maybe a Tales game, which is, hugely praised by most people? Like,
I'm not sure. I know that with the with the Detroit game, it's definitely the story. Like the game is a good game. It's just that metaphor.
I mean, I think
a huge loophole.
I think overall Tara's just not a fan of QTEs, but I don't think she really. It was a complaint for her in that game.
Yeah, but didn't she like the Batman one?
She likes Telltale games. But,
I like Telltale games, but I have an issue with the message behind giving somebody a choice to essentially choose not to live anymore, and that was presented as a valid option.
It's not even really the ending, it's the entire game. Throughout the entire game they glorified suicide to hell. Like, it's just the worst fucking messaging ever. David Cage is a shit.
Right. David Cage is a shit. That's the
basically it. You guys keep saying David Cage, and I keep picturing Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
That's funny. And then
Are you going to a next game or
I'm trying to think of what I've left out, because those two rose to the top for me. But
yeah, those two are the worst of the worst.
I mean, you don't have to have a top 5, Tara.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough to even fill.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is Heavy Rain in there too?
So I would have to put Heavy Rain on that list because, so obviously the issue here is I don't like how David Cage is not a good storyteller, because he is completely disconnected from the human element. Like, I don't think he has real friends in real life. Like, I don't think he knows how people actually emote and operate. I really think there's a problem.
Also, let me add this. When I say David Cage is a shit, it's not just because he makes bad games. It's because he thinks he is a fucking god.
Oh, he's one of those full of himself. I wanted to real quick reiterate too, the reason, and before somebody sees our podcast and says, "Oh, so they're just letting the female, they're making it easy for her because she's a girl gamer." No, we're making it easy for Tara because we're not saying that she needs to have a top 5 per se, because she just got into gaming. She's our newest gamer.
She barely even has 10 overall games.
Her gender has nothing to do about it, because we treat her equally and make fun of her equally on all platforms.
True. I will say, though, David Cage, a complaint that's in total opposition to what AD brought up about Mortal Kombat, is that David Cage is an example of things you should not do as it relates to women in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
The women are always a love interest or a sex object. They
have no choice.
There is always a very rapey scene, if not an outright rape scene.
Yeah, there's always an almost rape scene.
Or a shower scene.
Or always a shower
scene. So he has this in every one of his games?
Yes.
Every game.
Wow, and it does sound like a shitbag.
It's kind of gross. Like, I think if it was in one game and it fit with the story, I get it. But, like, it's almost like he just looks to see where he can put that.
So he's like fulfilling his own little sick fetish.
Yeah, it's weird.
On a side note, I think these games would be great for Mystery Science Gaming.
Oh my god,
that would probably be good. Yeah,
yes.
Beyond
we
Two Souls,
need to get that.
especially.
We need to get that going. We got to get that going.
Okay, so at the end of the show, we're gonna try to come up with a date, a first date.
Yes, which means that'll give me a date to give my artist to be able to contact her and be like, "Hey, I need these things by this date if you can."
Okay.
Are we moving on to top 5 best now?
Heavy Rain, are you done? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll circle back to me.
Unless, Chris, do you have any lists for us, or are you just kind of observing back there?
I would have. I've been trying to figure out. Okay, what are the 5 worst games I ever played, and the problem is my brain doesn't remember the worst games. It only remembers the best games because the worst games, my brain just kind of flushes it out of my brain so that I don't even remember it anymore.
So Chris does have a mic, but they're having technical difficulties with his mic.
So yeah, it's a whole thing with
my voice carries, so the other mics can pick me up.
Chris's mic is on a second audio channel, and I'm not able to send 2 audio channels through Discord.
80's cheap.
Well, Discord's cheap.
Maybe next time we should probably try out TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak, maybe,
or another chatting apparatus.
We'll try.
Yeah, so
something.
I've been trying to think, but my brain just doesn't remember the bad games. It remembers the good ones, so I don't have.
He blacks out. That's a typical army soldier thing. I black out the bad.
TeamSpeak is Bay.
No, if it was army, I remember all the bad.
Okay, I guess we'll think about TeamSpeak. Okay, my top 5. Let's see. My personal top game is DMC5. I don't.
Is that your top, or is that like the bottom of the top?
No, that's my top.
Okay.
Personal. My overall top game, in the sense that the game I would most recommend, because DMC is more of a niche genre.
Mm-hmm.
The game I would most recommend is Plague Tale.
Okay.
That was a very interesting game to watch.
So let me ask you this real quick, 22, just out of curiosity. And I don't mean to interrupt, but I kind of do. I kind of want to know. So for you, is gameplay king or story king?
I like a variety. So I mean, I definitely love just the hack and slash style of like Devil May Cry, and back in the day I played like Ninja Gaiden and just stuff like that. So I love I love swordplay mainly. I just love that type of melee combat. But I also love stories. I like RPGs. Not really the type of RPGs like DOS, which I do love now, but previously I would probably stick to more like action style RPGs. But I mean, I do love a good story too. Like a Plague Tale is definitely not an action game.
No, I wouldn't call it an action game at all.
Yeah. And Last of Us, like I said, is my top game of the decade. So yeah, I mean, I'd say I like a variety of games.
Okay. I was just curious because a lot of your games seemed like that. So you seem to be drawn to, and I see you used to play a lot of stuff on Twitch. That has a lot of very deep story stuff, but not what many people consider really immersive gameplay.
Yeah, I think it's kind of changed because of the people I've had on stream with me, like with Tara and her sister. I'm trying to get something that they would actually get immersed in. And no, they're not going to want to watch me, beat shit up in Devil May Cry or something like that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, Devil May Cry and Plague Tale are my 2 tops. And then the other ones don't really have a ranking, but Star Wars. Have you finished that?
Have I finished it?
Yeah.
I have not finished it.
Star Wars was cool.
Yeah. So Star Wars was I definitely enjoyed it. There was a few little things I had issues with, but it was still overall, one of my top games. Excuse me. This next one might be one that's not really, you wouldn't really expect on anybody's top list, but I really loved Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Bloodstained. Oh, is that side scroller?
Yeah, it's that Metroidvania style game.
Yeah, the Metroidvania side scroller one. Yeah, yeah. I saw a lot of people. The art style was kind of not me. It was kind of cartoony, but not cartoony.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was kind of anime-ish.
It reminded me of the way everything looked, like, and how everything like was art style. I know it was an art style choice, but you remember the old Flash games you used to play like back in like the early 2000s, late 90s?
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of that. To me, like that was kind of what turned me off to it. But I mean, it looks like if you enjoyed it, it looks like a good game.
It's fun. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the art style, and the gameplay was super fun. Like, I played through it twice, and got all the achievements. It was just fun the entire way through for me.
Okay.
So I actually just started Judgment, which came out last year. I just started it this year. But I think that from what I've seen of it so far, I would put it at the top of my list for 2019 because I really enjoyed it so far. What I had previously, because I couldn't really think of anything else, was Division 2. Because I did really enjoy that, and I played a lot of it with one of my friends. So I think now I would probably bump Division 2 for Judgment.
But just to reiterate, The Last of Us is your favorite game of the decade.
Yeah.
So basically, when Last of Us 2 comes out, you're just going to take a week off from work and we're not going to see you anymore. Or we're going to see you all the time on Twitch, probably.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, he'll just play it at work and just not get any work done, so he'll get like 2 days behind.
That.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, for that week.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to take a whole month off for Fast and Furious.
There you go.
Oh my god. Dude, that has got to be the game that we play on Mystery Science Game.
Yeah, it's good. I think we should shoot for summer because it comes out in May. But
I'm assuming that's a driving game.
Who the fuck knows what Fast and Furious isn't even a driving movie anymore.
So what's going to happen is you're going to end up having to have a kung fu scene right after you fly a jet and land on top of a tank and drive that tank onto a battleship while the battleship hits an iceberg, which is actually filled with a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
But that's only while Vin Diesel is talking to you and telling you how pathetic you are.
Soul Creek, congratulations. What job did you get?
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, cool. So I actually know about this job, but I'll let Mr. Soul Creek tell you guys about it. It's something he's been looking for, trying to get into, So it's awesome. I'm glad to hear it, dude.
So, side note, has anyone seen the trailer for Fast and Furious 9? What the fuck it's called? F9?
What, the movie?
Yeah.
There's a 9 already?
They're going for 10. They're going for 10.
I thought 8 just came out.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a joke. I saw that on like Twitch with like Fast and Furious 9. I was like, that's funny.
Hey,
it's like
Vin
Jaws
Diesel
13.
never jokes about that series, okay?
Oh,
he takes his movies 1/4 mile at a time, right?
That is his life.
Jesus Christ. Stop it.
Oh,
it's all about family. Family.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like the first 2 Fast and the Furiouses.
Well, it's about family until he thinks his girl's dead, and then he hooks up with some other girl and then has a kid. I
haven't seen any of them. Spoiler alert.
Well, you'll forget by the time you get to the 8th movie, I promise.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there's no racing in any of them.
That's not true. The first one, there was racing.
Well, in the later ones.
The second one in Japan, there was racing.
In the later ones. No, the third one was Japan.
Steal
the third one was in
cars.
Japan.
They don't even
the third
race
one
anymore.
wasn't racing, it was drifting.
Okay,
Drifting,
hey, let's save that.
Let's save that.
I just finished my top 5. Nerdy, what's yours?
All right, top 5. I'm going to combine the 2 of them, my top 5 RPG and my top 5 best games. So, number 5 would be Borderlands 3.
Okay.
I'm a loot whore. I love my loots. Looter shooters are awesome, and Borderlands 3 just kind of scratched that itch. You really can't go wrong with Borderlands when you want to just shoot shit, feel cool with cool guns, and get 10 billion fucking guns every single playthrough. So there's not a lot to be said.
Yeah, I've wanted to get into the Borderlands series. I haven't played any of them, but I do want to get into it at some point.
Borderlands 3 is a good start point, in my opinion. It's a good game to just hop in and just have some unadulterated fun killing stuff.
Does Borderlands 3 have co-op? Because I know 2 did.
It does.
Okay, that might be something fun to do with somebody.
Mr. Soul Creek will definitely jump in with that, or Kager, and they've been dying for me to get it on PC. So anybody to play with them, they'll be going.
I have not Soul Creek. I have not played any Borderlands.
Also, congratulations. That sounds like
a
super fun job.
Electrician with robots. But remember, the robots have feelings, so treat them
They're
right.
people too.
Oh my god!
So
they're not
if they need to talk to someone, I can work with
wait.
Chris will counsel your robots.
Wait, so if they're people too, I mean, do you have to have consent before you insert your USB drive?
You always have to have consent.
Yeah.
The rule of consent is always.
Okay, number 4. Number 4 for me is The Surge 2. I haven't finished it, but I had so much fun with that game. It was a Souls-like that I actually really got sucked into. The Surge 1 was overall agreed upon by most people that it was a not so great game, and then I could see the arguments on that, but they took everything that they got from their community and they made Surge 2 better. And Surge 2 is a lot of fun. So it made it my top.
I did get Surge 1 for free. I think it was off of PlayStation Network, but I've never touched it.
Surge 1 is okay. The most glaring issue with Surge 1 is they had this really shitty system where you had to have proficiency in a weapon to be able to use it appropriately and be good with it. So if, say, for example, you had this weapon you're using, and then you got a new weapon that was really cool, really powerful, but it wasn't the same weapon type you're using, you really couldn't use it effectively. So you basically had to take a huge hit to your effectiveness in combat to be able to try out this new weapon. And it was a really shitty system. A lot of people didn't like it because it didn't allow them to have that diversity in the game to be able to try out different weapons as they found them.
So when you say proficiency in that weapon type, do you mean like just upgrading your stats, or is it like a skill that you have to acquire?
It was like, if I remember correctly, it was like a skill. Like, did you ever play the game Dungeon Siege back in the day? Where if you used the weapon more, you got better at it and you did more damage with it and everything. It was that type of system.
Okay.
Like a particular weapon or like a family of weapons?
It was like a weapon type. So like in Surge, you have single rigs, dual rigs, heavy rigs, a bunch of other different things. But that was what you had to do. You had to use that specific weapon type. So if you found a different weapon type, you were just SOL.
That wouldn't be an issue for AD because he just uses swords. So
yeah, but there's dagger, there's great sword.
I mean, it's kind of similar to Dark Souls, how you have to have certain stats to use a weapon, but
but the Surge 2 did away with that system. So if you found a new weapon you wanted to try just because it looked cool, you could.
Yeah.
So people really liked it, and the gameplay just was smoother with Surge 2. Like one of the biggest reasons why Surge 2 made it on the list, not just because it was a good game, because they took the feedback from Surge 1 and they applied it to Surge 2 to make their game, I mean, hundreds of percentages better than the first one.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest reasons. It's just a fun game to enjoy, you know. So I loved it.
Thank you, Soul.
That's awesome.
Because I'm tight. Let's see. Number 3 for me was a game that really touched me on an emotional level. I didn't think it was. It was actually started out as a game that I was going to play it just as like a Friday. It was like a Friday afternoon. I was like, I'm going to try this game out. It's probably not my thing. It was a pixel art game, Children of Morta.
Okay. I saw that a little bit.
Yeah, that game is an absolute gem that not enough people talk about. That game was so good. Like, I played it, and then before I knew it, it had been like 7 hours by, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this game is amazing. The story, the family dynamic, the connection you get to characters, and it's like a roguelite RPG mixture with very simple gameplay. Really not hard to pick up. It's very challenging. It can be very, very challenging. It's not an easy game by any means. But it makes you want to get better. It makes you want to do everything. It makes you want to go back again and again and again and again to get the stuff to progress the story. And the ending, while some people didn't like it so much, I thought was absolutely beautiful. I really hope to see another one eventually, but I thought everything from the relationships between the family members and how the characters progressed as a family was
Did you say
so
it's an
beautiful.
RPG?
It's a roguelite RPG-esque. So like it's more of like a roguelite, what I call it, a roguelite RPG. But either way, you it's like, I don't know how to put it. I always have a hard time explaining roguelikes and roguelites, but you go in, you get progression, but you get to keep parts of your progression as you go out through the game and then choose how you're going to level up your characters. So it's got RPG aspects and roguelite aspects to it. So Tara, I think you would love it. I think
it sounds like it. That's why I was curious.
And the art style, I don't like pixel art. It's kind of like this 16-bit or 8-bit, I forget how it would be, but it's so beautiful. Their use of color is amazing. It's
I like pretty
such
games.
a good game. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous of a game. It's I honestly could find very few things, if anything, to talk negatively about it. It was an amazing 64 pixel art. That's what it was. But it was absolutely beautiful. And I think they just released it on Switch also.
Oh, good. I have one of those. It's the only thing I have at home anyway.
And they also have it where you can play co-op with friends.
She needs friends first.
So she needs friends first.
You can talk to David Cage and try to talk to his friends.
Nerdy, will you be my friend?
I mean,
I'll be your friend. I'll play with you.
I mean, Switch friends. You have no Switch friends.
I don't have any Switch friends.
Well, I have a Switch, so I'll play with you, and I have no problem buying that game again. Let's see. Number 2 for me is a game that most people are probably going to surprise it's number 2 and not number 1. Greedfall. I was looking forward to this game for years and years. It was made by a smaller studio, Spiders. Not a lot of people know them. I was hooked the first time I saw the very first announcement trailer at E3, like in 2017 or 2016, whenever it was. This game is up my alley. It's colonial, 15th century flintlock pistols mixed with magic, and the story was really good. Have you guys played it?
No.
Go play it. I don't want to spoil it, but it's so good.
What type of game is it?
It's very similar to Dragon Age in that aspect where you have a team of 3 people and it's action combat. It's really good.
Sorry, I was laughing.
Mr. Soki said it's a ripoff of Risen. I totally disagree. But that's because I have a biased opinion because I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dragon Age, so I'll check it out.
It's really, really good. And the equipment system is really cool. They have a really cool crafting system in it where you get a chess piece, and then you can upgrade the individual parts of the chess piece. So the only downside to that game, I would say, is that the skill trees and the feat trees were just by 2/3 way into the game. If you were really trying to complete everything like I was, nothing touched me. I was playing on the highest difficulty and still just curb stomping crap.
How much time would you say you put in that game?
Well over 100 hours.
Okay.
I enjoyed the
my concern with games is always time, especially now. Yeah. So
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And then so number 1 on my list, and it really was up in the air between this one and Greedfall, is The Outer Worlds.
I was kind of guessing that when you didn't have it at number 2. I know you really like that one.
Yeah, Outer Worlds is absolutely gorgeous also. Obsidian did an amazing job. Now, keep in mind, both Outer Worlds and Greedfall, I would consider them AA games. They're not really AAA.
Yeah.
They have some issues with how some of the graphics may look and how things may work here and there. But both of these games didn't have big studios behind them. Greedfall had Private Division behind it, and Outer Worlds had I don't remember who they had behind them. Anyway, but yeah, both of them were very. Actually, maybe Obsidian did Outer Worlds on their own. They might have published it themselves. Maybe, I don't remember. Somebody find out. We'll look that up. Just so we can find it for us. But either way, Outer Worlds. The humor was just great. It was really funny. You got connection to a lot of the characters. Everybody in every playthrough seems to have a connection to a certain, character, whether it be Parvati or the chaplain dude or, whoever it is that you have a connection with. You really get good character progression. The gameplay is solid. It's got solid shooting, solid ability gameplay. It was overall a really good game. The only one of the biggest downsides I can say to that game is there just wasn't enough of it. I wanted more by the end of the game. Even though the story was satisfying, I wanted more.
Yeah.
They're putting out DLC here soon, from what I understand, so we'll get that more, but I just wanted more.
That's also, I've been Googling some of these games just for my own edification, and it just says that it's also coming out on Switch in March.
What? Outer Worlds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, it seems like everything just eventually comes out on Switch later.
Well, you got it's actually a pretty impressive feat of engineering to get a game that was made for like Xbox or PC or PlayStation to optimize it to such an extent to make it work on the Switch, because you can't deny the Switch just doesn't have the power behind it like those other consoles or a PC may have. So,
but it has Mario Party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mario Party's no joke. Mario Party's fun, especially when there's beer involved.
Nerdy. I love that
Especially when
game.
there's beer involved.
All right, Tara, your tops.
My tops.
Now, just to be clear, this isn't necessarily top played, but just top experienced overall, right?
Okay.
Or is it top played?
Well, before I was thinking of games I'd actually played.
Okay.
But I think in this instance, I'm going to have to include a game that I watched and didn't play yet, but I will play. And that is The Last of Us. That
See, I
game.
feel so bad.
You what?
I feel so bad. I feel so bad because I played The Last of Us and I didn't even finish it because it just didn't hook in me.
Well, I think a lot of my early attachment to this game had a lot to do with, like, I think this is, for me, I have to take it back a little more. I first fell in love with a actual game and the characters when we played the Telltale Walking Dead series.
Mm-hmm.
That was really the first time I got so sucked in to what was happening next and actually got to experience what it was like to wait for the next installment to come out and then play it and how, you know what I mean? And so I think that whole post-apocalyptic thing, I was really into it because it was, I don't know. I could be totally off here, but I was already like all about it from like the get.
So is it the zombie aspect or just post-apocalypse that you like?
It's just the like.
Or is it the struggle for survival thing?
Yeah, like it's not just quest for battling, you know what I mean? Like it was just a good, like, I felt like it was immersive, I think is the word I'm looking for. So that you weren't like thinking about, I need to beat this enemy. You were thinking, I've got to find this thing so I can get to the place, and you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
I've got to find water to survive. Screw the enemy.
Not even 2011 Soul Creek. She's a gamer from 2018.
It's true. Yeah. I'm like brand new.
Well, see, knowing that about her, I'm trying to think of games that she might like, and if she likes but do you like survival games, Tara?
She hasn't really. I was gonna say, about her playing Last of Us, survival and stealth are probably the two hardest genres to learn as a beginner, in my opinion.
Yes.
And that game is straight up survival stealth.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, was it because I'm gonna throw this out here because this kind of plays into something that I wanted to ask you guys if you guys want to do eventually, because I want to get a group together. Mr. Soul Creek has got me interested in a game that I do want to play with the community eventually, called DayZ. It's a survival game with zombies, and you got to build your own fort and work together and do all this stuff together. If Tara's interested in survival games, maybe we can eventually get this together and start playing.
I think that would be fun.
Is it a shooter though?
Yes.
Or does it? I mean, it has shooter mechanics.
There's shooting in it.
Yeah.
But Mr. Soul Creek could be a better way of explaining it. He knows more about the game. But I would say it's more so a survival game where you have to scavenge up equipment and stuff you need. You don't want to shoot because you're going to attract the zombies and other players and everything. So it's more about sneaking around and getting the stuff you need to build up your base and get your stuff you need.
Is this like there's another game like that, 7 Days to Die?
I am not familiar with 7 Days to Die.
Okay, it sounds like
it's like that.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're describing.
So I'm in on that. Actually, one of my tasks for myself is to start gaming more, not only when I'm streaming with AD. So that gives me the opportunity to be bad and get better. But I have to say that in terms of my own personal gameplay, the game that won my heart, which is not based on storyline or characters or plot, is Bayonetta.
Okay.
I was initially...
I saw you enjoyed Bayonetta.
I was initially attracted to it because...
She was initially attracted to Bayonetta. Yeah.
Well, Lady Gaga was playing it. She tweeted something about playing, I think, Bayonetta 2, and I'm a huge fan. And so, it happened around the time that I was starting to like play games with AD, and
is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Yep. And so I was like, well, if she can play Bayonetta, I can play Bayonetta, right?
And I said no.
But I did it on easy. I'm going to continue to go back to it. Bayonetta 2 is available on Switch, so I feel like Bayonetta is my Devil May Cry.
Yeah, but isn't Bayonetta kind of gross? Didn't like she wear her hair as her clothing?
So it's interesting that you bring that up because people have been very like put off by that, but the way that it's done and is very like Japanese, sexy, like it's more about like she's almost naked.
It's definitely gross to think about and to hear about.
I mean, I don't even like getting into the shower and seeing the hair on the shower walls that my wife leaves on the wall. That grosses me out. I can imagine having a woman just her whole body's covered in hair.
You know, it's just not something you think about.
Yeah,
it's not meant to be thought about.
I don't know.
It's magic, demons, and witches.
I like her. Shit. I like her vibe. I like her style. I like her attitude, and I enjoyed getting to basically fight through the game. It was my first kind of experience.
I was actually, and I'm sure AD had a sense of pride when I watched you play Bayonetta, and I had a sense of pride for you as a gamer. Your determination on one of the times I was watching you, when you're trying to go up this wall using the witch wall.
Yes.
And you kept having this issue where it would switch the camera, and you determined yourself through it. And as a gamer, I was proud of you. You worked your way through it, and you really did a good job. AD hopped into help a little bit, but you, as a gamer, that's when I knew you, Tara, are going to become a gamer because you have that determination, you have that passion to keep pushing. A lot of people would have just gotten to that point and just said, "Fuck this, I'm done."
She's stubborn. You just kept going.
It's true.
So I have talked to her about that. Determination is good and everything, but sometimes you just need a break.
Oh yeah, taking a break is super important.
And she told me about one time when she was at home playing and stuck on some one thing for like 3 hours, and I'm like, you know, at some point you got to know when you're too frustrated to play.
Yeah.
Turn the game off, watch an episode of Friends or something, unwind, and then come back to it, because then your mind's fresh and you're like, oh, I didn't try this.
Yeah.
Let me try that.
So
because you get tunnel vision.
And I wasn't going to bring this game up originally, but since you mentioned your mobile game, I am going to bring it up. And I forgot to mention this when I was doing. It's on both of my lists. It is on the best and on the worst.
Really?
Okay.
I know what game this is.
So I played a Warner Brothers mobile game called Game of Thrones Conquest.
Oh, I've seen ads for this.
Yeah, okay. And it was an ad in another game I was playing, and I'll be honest, I downloaded it because it was during the last of Game of Thrones, and I was upset that Game of Thrones was done, and I'm not even going to talk about the abortion that was the last season, but
I didn't see the last season, so don't talk about it yet.
Yep. So I just wanted, I wanted something to fill that Game of Thrones void, and I'll be honest, I thought it was like a Farmville kind of game in a Game of Thrones setting. Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that it was actually a real-time strategy game where you essentially it's a Clash of Clans or whatever
Viking Age stuff like that.
What is it called, the guild type games?
I know what you're talking about, but yeah, there are a dime a dozen nowadays.
Yeah. I had never played one before. I didn't really get it, but it was my first introduction into playing with other people online, like strangers. And getting into a Discord vortex with all these people that you've met, and like before I knew it, I was on like 5 different servers, and I was playing constantly. I had Google spreadsheets for our clan, and like did weekly updates on everybody's power levels. And
hold on. Is this a reason for it being top best or top worst? Because it could go either way.
Yeah, no, I'm going to talk about why it's the best and why it's the worst. But I'm just trying to explain how, like, I had never experienced this level of sucked in, right? And the reason that it's one of the best is that I learned a lot, right, about just battle and stats, and that was what I think it helped me with the most, is because you had all these stats you had to track and try to improve, and there was different ways to improve your stats and working on that.
And it brought you like into the gaming community.
Yeah, I made gamer friends from all over the world.
More than I ever had.
And that part was really cool. So one of the reasons it was the best was the cooperation that it requires, the coordination. And then I don't know, I think they were smart about the way that they set it up, because it wasn't just random attacking. Like, there were things you wanted to accomplish, territory you wanted to take over, and there were ebbs and flows of certain guilds becoming more powerful, and then there was a split, and then there was, spies, and I don't know. It was cool to me. It was a new experience. And I think they did a good job of giving you plenty to keep you engaged and all that.
Okay.
The reason it was one of the worst games is 2 reasons. Number one,
money.
It's a pay to play. It's if you don't spend money on the game, you are not going to be good.
Was it a pay to play or pay to win?
Pay to win.
Okay.
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Pay to play is okay, in my opinion. Pay to win, not okay.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I did spend quite a bit of money on this
thousands and thousands of dollars.
It was...
That's not true.
Those packs, I didn't spend thousands, but those packs really, really got me. And then they would do like a 4th of July sale, and I'd buy packs. And anyway, it was bad. The other thing is that they kind of have themselves... The way that they have the game set up is that when you join the game, you're put on a certain kingdom server. Right. And each kingdom server has its own little life cycle, because at some point, all the players are starting to reach such a high level that it's no longer... At some point, inevitably, the server becomes stalemated because there's one particular power that controls everything, and like there's no chance for overthrowing. So when that happens, they take another server that's also at a stalemate, and then they merge them together.
Oh, fun.
And then everything kind of resets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what they haven't solved for is that in that merge, within a few months, it was stalemated again. So there was two major guilds in our server and two major guilds in the other server. When they merged, there was about a month of battling it out amongst the top four, but then within, say, 2 months, it was two major guilds that controlled the kingdom, and it was like, what's the point? So that's
they're just creating bigger and bigger super beasts.
Yeah. So I would have had it was at a point where people can't afford to continue to try to compete in those situations.
Gotcha.
So Soul Creek, I do see why mobile games are kind of, I don't know, people, it's funny because when I've talked about this game and they hear it's a mobile game, there's like this face gamers make, because it's almost like mobile games are trashy.
Mobile games kill real gamers.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the worst part is the reason why mobile gaming is killing real gaming is because if you look at the economics of it, mobile gaming makes probably 2/3 of the actual money made in gaming. I mean, it's the reality of it.
Oh, I know what I spent, and I know what I saw other people spending, and you don't see what they spend, but you can see that, like, you know, they doubled their army in 24 hours. Like, you just spent some money. Warner Brothers, on that game alone, like, could probably buy Africa. I'm pretty sure.
Probably. That's the problem though with mobile gaming is it's not the good ones, because it sounds like the one that you were playing was a good one. Not all mobile games are bad. I want to make this clear. I don't hate mobile games because they're mobile games. I hate mobile games because most of the time it's absolute junk garbage that they put out there for no other means other than just to make money off of, you know, people that they can entice and trick into spending money on their junk app. There was I always do this. You guys aren't going to be able to go a single episode of the Untitled Nerd Show without me doing this, but there was an episode of South Park that portrayed it very well.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where it was like he had the Canadian game. What was it? Where they fought on each other. Terrence and Phillip game. Where he was just, you know, getting his Canadian bucks, and he was just spending all the money. And
hey, Nerdy Wife.
They portrayed it so well that's really is reality in most cases. Not all of them. There are a couple mobile games out there that do it right. I would say like Pokemon Go does it right, and a couple other ones do it well enough where it's not atrocious.
That's exactly what happened to me. I was not prepared and definitely got suckered. Because what they do is that the first time they show you a pack is 99 cents or $1.99. And then the more you play, then you start to see bigger packs until before I quit, the packs I was seeing were $100 a pack. And I actually bought like $100 packs, and it was a self-realization of like, how did I get here? This app was free.
Yep. And that's how a lot of them get you. Like I said, I even just gave it praise because I said you enjoyed it so much. But they suck you down this hole, and then you look at your bank account and you go, holy crap, I spent all this money on this thing, and what do I have to show for it? But it's not just mobile gaming that makes real gaming crap because they're making all the money. It's also because these companies are seeing this tactic and it's kind of leaking into real gaming, i.e. like in FIFA and Madden and all the sports games. And I'm sure I'm going to get Soul Creek on a tangent on this one. And some people would argue in the Pokemon stuff with, the new Pokemon stuff that you have to pay for now. So, yeah, that's kind of why we all hate it. But, not all mobile games are bad.
Yeah.
It's called whaling. Yeah.
Tara, did you have anything else on your top list?
It was some egg game. What game was that? I left that game though. Oh no, I know. It was that. Was that a dragon game where you get eggs and you had to hatch them? And,
yeah, I've seen that.
Like, dragon. It was like this cutesy ootsy little thing, and it sucked me in.
It was chickens.
Oh no, it was the chicken game.
Oh wow.
It was so bad. You had to create chickens to feed your factories, and you had to make bigger and bigger hatcheries and make more and more chickens. And it was nice. It was just like this. It was the epitome of
a farmer.
Well, no, it was the epitome of everything I hate about mobile gaming, because it hooked you in with this gameplay that seemed like it's fun, yeah, but it was like the graphics of basically the Terrence Phillip game where you just click to make chickens, and then it's like, oh, you hit this paywall. So, but if you pay this, you'll get this, this, and this, and it's like, oh, well, I can spend $2,
right?
And then $2 turned to like $5, and the $5 turned to $10, and $10 turned to $20, and then nerdy wife starts coming to my fucking, area going, why did you spend $130 on a stupid ass fucking chicken app? And I was like, I don't know, I'm deleting it now.
That's when you have a moment where you're like Kevin McAllister's dad in the Plaza Hotel. You spent $1,000 on Robes R Us.
Yep. Oh no, here comes nerdy wife.
I straight up told him that I would shut off his debit card.
Oh, that's serious.
She did. It was bad.
Yeah, which I get.
She did.
I get it. I wish I had somebody that would have shut mine off.
I'm up.
Well, you never admitted to how much money you spent.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
I would have thrown your phone or something.
I think that's it for the games. I briefly mentioned The Walking Dead Telltale. That's I love that game. Love that game. Clem is the best.
All right, so...
And I'll end on that note.
AD, do you have any honorable mentions? Any things you thought stood out in 2019 that didn't make your lists?
I thought I had something. Well, I mean, Division 2, like I said, got bumped for Judgment. But that was on there. Code Vein is a good mention that I considered. But I really enjoyed it. Okay. I think that's all I got really worth mentioning for 2019.
I think I have 2 real honorable mentions because you already covered a couple of them with Plague Tale, Devil May Cry, and stuff. But I have 2 real honorable mentions. One is Medieval. I think was the best remake or remaster, however you want to look at it, of 2019. Mainly because I'm a huge Medieval fan. I have nostalgia associated with it. I'm sure some people would argue that it was, what was the other one that was really big by Capcom? Resident Evil?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people would argue Resident Evil was a better remake or remaster, but
I had Resident Evil on my very early draft list, but then, as I thought of more games, it just kept up and down.
Yeah. And then the other one, as far as the standout of 2019, which kind of leads me into my news that we kind of touched on, if you want me to lead into it or segue into it. The other was Pokemon Sword and Shield, just for the amount of controversy surrounding those games.
Yeah.
There's so much controversy throwing around on that, which leads me into my next bit of news that came out was we have more. Oh, wait, there's more. Controversy associated with that game. They everybody got upset about the Dexit, and then they got upset about the DLC. Well, now the pricing for Pokemon Home has finally come out. And we're looking at $16 a year on top of, I think, with the $20 a year you have to have to actually access the Pokemon servers. So you're looking at $36 a year for a Pokemon server trading thing that you have to use, that you can use. Let's be clear, you can still enjoy Pokemon without any of this. This is why I kind of get butt heads. A lot of people are like, no, you shouldn't have to pay for this. But I was like, it's extra, you should.
Yeah.
But I'm on that side of the fence. I know a lot of people are like, no, I should be able to trade with whoever I want. It's part of the game. It's always been part of the game to be able to trade between people with our DSs and our Game Boys and what have you. But it's infuriated the community. It is.
So before you heard about the price, was it always planned to be an annual pay type of thing, or?
I think it was always planned. The Pokemon Home thing was always planned to be an annual pay thing because they already had there was another thing before the Home that they already had like an annual payment thing for, like Pokemon Bank or whatever it was that people paid. But it was such a small amount. It was like $5 or something a year. Now it's $16 a year. They've tripled the price.
That's
so. See, Mr. Solker says this is why I get a lot of flack too, because I didn't play every single Pokemon game since Red and Blue. I'm not allowed to have a say in it because I'm not deep enough into it. But I still love Pokemon. I mean, I still love the concept of the game, and I understand the argument for both sides. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Solker. We've had this conversation. Like, I understand the argument. Like, this is something that everybody has had in the past. And now they're charging for a DLC, or they're charging to be able to have this service, this live service. The best way of putting it, and live service has kind of got a stigma on that phrase. But they've changed it. Like, I look at Pokemon Sword and Shield as like a soft reboot. They're moving it from a mobile thing to where in mobile you really couldn't do DLCs. You really couldn't do all these other things that they're trying to do. Now they're moving to console. Console is a whole different beast. These are all practices that, whether or not you agree with them or not, are practices that are accepted in the market as is today. If you don't agree with them, I'm all for you boycotting the game. Don't like it, whatever. But I see so many people attacking people because they're defending it, and that to me is just not okay. Like, if I defend it and say, well, this is my viewpoint, you paid for the game, you got your $60 game, you got what you paid for, all this other stuff is extra, you should be able to have the extra stuff. You should have to pay for the extra stuff, and that's my viewpoint on it, and if I believe that, I should be able to do that. Like, the Pokemon community, I don't know if you guys are very much into it, they're ravenous. Yeah. They are absolutely ravenous.
I played pretty much every generation up until X and Y. I think that was the last games that I played. I have been interested in trying out Sword and Shield at some point, but I haven't been really following much of it lately. What's up, Ryu?
Temtem. Oh, that's a good subject too. That just came out too.
So, is Pokemon new to console gaming?
It's always been on like Game Boy or Nintendo DS and shit like that.
So
they had some spin-offs that are on console, like Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that. But this is the first Pokemon like
RPG.
Well, yeah, like the standalone Pokemon traditional game to make it onto console, I think.
Is that the game you were wanting me to play?
Yeah. So I was actually thinking of getting Tara into as a way to get her into like the RPG style. I was gonna have her play a Pokemon game, but probably like one of the older ones, like Let's Go Pikachu or something like that.
We have her wait to do the dungeon one. The dungeon remake is coming out in March.
Mystery Dungeon?
Oh yeah, was it Pokemon Dungeon Rescue or whatever? Because they're remaking it. Hold on, it's called Mr. Soulkick's really looking forward to it.
I just googled this sword and thing. I wanted to know what the controversy was. I was catching myself up.
Well, like if you wanna dive into Pokemon though, Tara, I would say wait till March. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team is coming out.
Okay,
that would be something that you would like.
Yeah, that is kind of a cool game because you're playing as the Pokemon, not as
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, this Sword and Shield looks good too. I may that may be something I get on the Switch and then we can play later on.
Well, we have been talking about getting a Switch for the office, so you might want to hold off on that.
What do you guys do?
Huh?
Like I keep hearing like what like you guys work in the office and you're in your
I
office.
stream
doing
out of the
searches from
office.
We
like
work for a nonprofit, and
okay.
Player 22 is actually a pilot program for outreaching to gamers.
What?
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
our organization is about raising awareness and for veteran suicide, or just suicide in general, and we offer different types of therapies for veterans, first responders, and their families, including traditional therapy, but also we do non-traditional stuff like motorcycles and outdoor retreats and stuff like that. So I brought in gaming as another option like a year and a half ago, and just been trying to build this channel. So
And that's insane. I did not know that 22, and it's just that's crazy that you and I just stumbled into each other, having me been a veteran and
yeah,
disabled.
I've been talking about that with the office, like how you just happen to be a veteran, and that's exactly like what I was trying to do. Just reach out to people in general, and there would happen to be veterans in that group. I think the funny thing about us is that like I just stumbled upon your channel one day. It just happened to be the one day where I was like, you know what? I've been streaming for about a year. I need to start doing some networking.
Mm-hmm.
I just you were like the first channel that I happened to stumble upon, and like now here we are. It's fucking crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
you know what? You need to. We'll talk offline a little bit more about this. Give me some information. There's a local veterans group around me that does a lot of stuff that's outdoorsy.
Yeah.
That I might be able to get you in contact with. You guys can work together too. Called the Salty Vets here, and they actually have a farm that they have for the veterans to go work on to get away from like.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
So yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, we should have.
I do some stuff with them.
Offline discussion about programming.
Yeah.
Wait, they closed? When they closed? I haven't talked to them for a little while. What happened?
They didn't have the financing to maintain.
Oh, they didn't have. Oh my goodness, that's awful. Well, I guess they're gone now.
Mm.
That's awful. Because they would do a yearly ruck march with the veterans and stuff.
And it's one of the struggles of the nonprofit world is
Mounting Miracles.
money is always an issue.
Colorado.
Hmm?
Mounting Miracles in Colorado.
Hmm.
They work with veterans.
Okay.
Same concept, different location.
Oh, that's the one your sister works with?
No, my cousin.
Yeah, man. I never would have expected to meet an angry German. That's like the highlight of
not just
all
an
of
angry
this.
German and German who drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, go figure.
I mean, angry drinking German. God, those don't like. That's not like not 90% of their entire population. But no, that's super cool. Gamer, or 22 or 80. I'll just say 80. Okay. Anyway, I got fuzzled there. Dude, we need to talk offline. I'm going to do more to help you out with this.
Yeah.
As much as I can. I know I'm not a big channel. I'm trying to grow more, but I want to do as much as I can to help out with this.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I definitely, I know we've kind of, between me and Tara and even Chris, we kind of mentioned that in passing every now and then about what we do. I never knew if you really caught it, but I never wanted to like kind of push that on you, like, hey man, do you want to help me with this? Because I didn't want to make it about that.
No. And the crazy thing is I have my own little network of people through gaming. I don't know if I told you this, but my artist for my channel, the one that does all my art, she's my best friend from the military, and she's actually a transgender soldier.
Oh, okay. So, you mentioned the transgender friend. I didn't know it was also the same person.
Well, she's also a soldier. Okay. So she's reserved now. And her girlfriend is actually another trans soldier. So I'm actually pretty active in the community and getting people accepted in different groups. And really, gaming is the best way to do it for me. So I would love to help you guys out with it.
Check out, for your homework, Nerdy, check out our organization a little more, just for your own perusal. It's called 22 Kill.
22 Kill. Can I just Google that?
Yeah.
The number's 22.
22 Kill should be the first result.
22 Kill. Is it .com or .org?
.com.
It says 22kill.com about. About 22 kills. Oh, yeah, that's you, because it's got the Behind the Mask, honoring. 22. Okay. I'll look more into this. Actually, yeah, I want to do more stuff with you.
Ooh.
Maybe we could do like a charity stream on Veterans Day or Memorial Day.
I was planning on doing a big like charity marathon type of stream sometime in the summer. We tried one last year in September.
We did a 20-hour.
It was like 16 hours.
16-hour marathon stream.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just me or like, our channel. So I would love to get more other channels involved and kind of like tag out. And
I'm going to put it out there right now. You have the backing of the Nerd Farm. At least two of us are veterans. Myself and Iron Tiger are both veterans. Iron Tiger just recently left the Air Force. So yeah, we could definitely get together. I'm sure I can talk to him into help and support.
I would like Memorial Day, but that's also a busy time for us as an organization, and I don't think we'd be able to do a stream.
We have a 2-day Memorial Day weekend. We have a 2-day walk that we're a nonprofit partner for. So
where are you guys located out of?
Dallas, Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
I've got friends down there.
Okay.
I'll get you in touch.
Do all your exes live in Texas, Nerdy? Do all your exes live in Texas?
No. All of my exes live in different countries, believe it or not.
Germany?
That's good.
German. Well, no, actually, let me go down the list. I've got Russian, Polish, German, Iranian.
Oh, wow.
All the colors of the rainbow.
Yep.
You're like the United Nations of dating.
Yeah. I don't know what that says about me as a person.
Let's ask your wife.
But that's so cool. I'm glad I learned this about you guys.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more on this later, though.
Yeah, I don't want to forget. So the Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon.
Debacle.
What were we talking about? Oh, me trying the new game and getting a Switch.
Well, there's also another game that just recently came out, Tyra. That's Pokemon-esque. That's actually has another controversy surrounding it. It's called Temtem. Ryu brought it up earlier.
Okay.
It's a new game. A lot of people are saying that they're ripping off Pokemon, but legally they haven't. They're just using Pokemon as their inspiration.
Okay.
But it's a co-op game. Unlike Pokemon, where you're just kind of your single person and you go out and catch your Pokemon and everything. In Temtem, it's like an MMO co-op Pokemon game. Temtem game.
An MMO?
Almost.
Multi-massive online.
Yeah, I don't know if Tara wants to get into MMOs.
Well, but the Temtem thing could be fun because it's kind of like it's got MMO type things, but it's very based around
dude, that is totally
playing with
Pokemon.
A friend.
It is.
That is that's totally Pokemon shit right there.
That's like Kmart.
Oh my god, that's fucking Cubone.
I know a lot of people say the same stuff when they.
Oh my god.
Either way, I would say, because Tara, you sound like a type of person who really likes playing with people versus playing a game by yourself.
I do.
And Temtem is very much like that. It's a very multiplayer based game. So I would say, at the very least, look into it. It's still in beta or alpha right now, isn't it? It released, but it's not the full release.
Yeah, it says early access.
Yeah, but it's $34.99, so it's not super expensive.
What system is it on?
PC right now.
Yeah, it's only on Steam, or not on Steam, but on PC.
Yeah, I think it's only on Steam. I don't think it's on anything else. But yeah, I would look into it. It could be fun. It's like I said, you could find somebody to play with, or convince AD to play with you, and you guys can give it a shot.
I'll play it.
Or heck, even maybe I'll jump in. I know.
Let's all play it.
You might even, and I might be speaking for her. As you see, Nerdy Wife is very much a social gamer. She likes playing with people. I might be able to convince Nerdy Wife to sit down and play with you.
Woo-woo.
4 of us. Let's all do it. I'm down.
I only have one computer. Well, I have 2 computers, but I don't think I could run That would be a disaster. We both nerdy and wife and I trying to sit in the same
All
spot.
that power, man, and you can't do it.
So I have a question.
Wait. What is it? Oh, I got to do the joke. I got to do ultimate power.
I have a question for you guys as gamers. I have been looking. I would like to start gaming more, like at the end of the day, as my like few minutes of me time, because
few minutes,
or whatever, however long I have, it just depends. There's a lot of people that live in our house and are always at our house, and so I would like to spend more time. Like I would like to be able to go play a game. But I'm looking for a specific quality in a game.
Sounds like you need to build out your own gaming studio.
Yeah, and I'm curious on y'all's response. So I'm looking for a game that would be considered something that's a little... goes back to what you were saying earlier about how you like to check boxes. Mm-hmm. Like a game where I'm not necessarily having to push, try, and fail and get better. It more like it's calming because you can just go and do the steps, and it's almost like a game you relax with.
I think Pokemon's actually a good one though for that.
You want a mind-numbing
RPG?
A what game, Nerdy?
A mind-numbing game.
Yes.
A game where you could just kind of veg out to, like watching like an old sitcom where you just kind of veg out.
Yeah.
But you're not really vested in it. You're just kind of, I'm playing it to kind of relax and unwind. Yep. To be entirely honest, I would recommend just about any Ubisoft game. Big giant map with a bunch of check marks. I mean, question marks all over the place. You just go around and do little, not super intuitive little quests. Quest is done. You get some experience and move on to the next check mark. If that's what you like, I would, any of the Assassin's Creeds, especially the more recent ones, like, what was the most recent one? The Roman one, or
Odyssey.
Odyssey. I mean, people
I watched
about
some of that gameplay actually.
Yeah. Odyssey is
people bitch
huge.
about that being grindy, but if that's what you want, you just want to wander on a map and do these little quests that really aren't very attention grabbing that you have to like pay attention to.
Right.
Yeah, grab a game like that. Like those games have. That's why I kind of defend them. Those games have a place for people who enjoy that type of thing, where you just want to lose yourself in the game, not be super focused on the game, but just want to play something just to play. Yep. And I would recommend a game like that, or like even The Witcher 3. Huge maps, lots of question marks. Just don't play it on the hardest setting. Play it on like normal, and you'll be just fine.
Or easy.
There's definitely with those types of games, so there would definitely be a lot of time spent just learning gameplay, because
with Witcher maybe I don't think Assassin's Creed's that complicated. You sneak around, you stab the person with your stuff, you get the money, you move on to the next check mark.
We can let's think about the fact that Terra is just not used to any type of gameplay at all.
Oh, Nerdy Wife brings up a good one.
Ori?
Play Ori. Ori is such a beautiful game.
Ori is, yeah.
Ori is a beautiful game.
Is that on
It's
Switch?
a side scroller.
And chat, I am hearing you. I'm actually writing down some games. Y'all had more suggestions than I expected.
I think Ori's on Switch. Maybe. I know it's on PC. I know it's on Xbox. It might be on Switch. It does have a difficulty spike near the end, Ryu. That is true. But I think it's okay.
I think just a basic platformer is a pretty simple game to kind of learn, to ease into.
I mean, here, the Mr. Soul Creek is a shouting from the rooftops. Animal Crossing might be good for you too, Tara.
Yeah,
Animal Crossing is a game, and is the new one out yet? I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out. But the game basically, think Farmville meets Mr. Rogers meets you want to just talk to everybody and make everybody happy in your neighborhood.
Nice.
Like it's that game where you don't. It's not very intense. Like people literally get Farmville. There's a cult following of Farmville literally because it does exactly what you're describing.
Yep.
Where you just want to veg out and unwind and go around and build your farm and make your community happy.
Ori's on Switch. The first Ori is on Switch.
Okay.
So Trine. Hey, Ryu, how is Trine? I looked at Trine at GameStop the other day. I haven't played a Trine. I looked at Trine 4, and then they had Trine 1 through 3 on a bundle.
Wait, has a new Assassin's Creed been announced, Soul Creek? Because I haven't heard anything.
I don't think they've officially announced it.
Is he
There's
talking
rumors
about
it being
Assassin's
Ragnarok.
Creed or Animal Crossing?
Oh, he might be talking about Animal Crossing.
Oh, damn it.
Animal Crossing.
Clarify your freaking acronyms.
There's
funny.
dying over here.
Sorry, I choked.
God, the angry German is turning me into angry Asian.
Oh no!
We don't want to have that battle again.
Wait, was it that was Terra coughing, right? It wasn't AD, right?
Yep.
I mean, got to be careful of the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no corona or limes here.
You keep your
Okay.
germs to yourself.
Did you guys see that announcement that all these people are sharing around? I don't like to bash on PC culture too much all the time because they just make it so easy. But they're now going around saying, well, don't make fun of Asian people because of the coronavirus. The same thing happened in SARS. That you can't use that stereotype and say, like, oh, it always happens in China. Like, dude.
But it does.
People are saying that because it's a joke.
Yeah.
You get a sense of humor.
Coronavirus, SARS, swine flu, all of them started in China.
I mean, but the reality of it is I don't think anybody's saying that the Chinese are the ones creating him or like. I don't want to bash on PC culture too much, but sometimes they get out of hand. In my
Yes,
opinion.
I did see the Bud Light offer. Corona was trying to convince Bud Light to endorse the name the Bud Light disease or something like that.
Oh, they were trying to get it off of them.
Yeah.
That's clever. I appreciate that.
That's funny. Okay.
Well, thank you for entertaining that question, guys. I was curious.
Absolutely. We're going to turn you into a hardcore gamer yet, though. You'll be playing Dark Souls just to unwind here soon.
Oh my god.
I'm ready.
I told her when I played Dark Souls on stream once just to introduce it to her, and I told her if she ever gets to the point where she plays this, it would be my proudest moment.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We'll be
I don't
50,
even
but
like
I'll
Dark
get
Souls.
there. Just kidding.
What is Katamari Damacy?
What is what?
Katamari Damacy?
I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
Like, I have no idea.
Katamari.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Tara on a Dark Souls no-hit run soon.
Okay, but as long as Tara doesn't end up like segue into our next topic, good old Dean Takahashi. Who knows who Dean Takahashi is?
I don't.
Anybody?
Did I?
Anybody?
Oh yeah. You want me to pull up the video?
You can. But let me give the intro real quick. Dean Takahashi, if you're unfamiliar with who good old Dean is, he is a video game journalist who was made famous by his inability to complete the Cuphead tutorial. He could not complete it. He spent 30 minutes, could not complete the Cuphead tutorial. Everybody gave him such a huge fucking deal about it because it sparked the controversy is should games journalists or people who review games have to be good at games?
You have to be able to complete them, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people came to the conclusion that they should have to be competent in games because you have to be able to play the game.
Yeah, I would not.
I feel like
be comfortable reviewing games.
I have read some
Other than
reviews.
with you guys.
Yeah, I've read some reviews where it's definitely you can tell it's just like the person is complaining about the game being too hard or like they didn't enjoy it. I'm like, maybe you just suck.
They blame it on the game.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about games.
Right. Well, good old Dean Takahashi struck again with the new Doom game, with Doom Eternal. He has decided to, and he was the one who posted it. He posted it originally. He deleted it off of his YouTube channel after everything hit the fan. But certain people have found it and saved it for posterity to show people just how bad this guy is. But yeah, that was the big controversy that sparked, though, was like Should a journalist have to be good at a game, or should a journalist at least be competent at a game to be able to review it? And surprisingly, a lot of these journalists came out of the woodwork saying, "Oh no, we don't have to be good at games to review them." And the community overwhelmingly said, "No, yeah, you do. Because if you say a game's bad because you can't complete the tutorial, it's not because the game's bad, it's because you suck."
Yeah, that's like saying I don't like certain type of movies, but I'm gonna review the movie.
It's like getting lost in a cubicle. If you get lost in a cubicle, you're special.
Okay, I have the video. Do we need sound with it?
You don't really need sound. You just see him, you see him do ridiculous things. Like if you start here,
does he have
see him try to
commentary?
No, I don't think there's commentary on it.
Oh, there's no commentary. Okay.
Yeah, but like he'll be like shooting containers to try to open them. Like he'll stand there and not open to be. He'll like walk
is this
through the lava.
Tutorial that he's in?
No, it's just the regular game.
It's just the game.
Oh,
it's just regular gameplay, and he's completely incompetent in doing this stuff. It's just absolutely dumb.
Does he get paid for these reviews, or he just gives? Yeah,
he works for a reviewing company.
Oh wow!
So like you think he's starting out good, then he'll get to a point where he's just absolutely dumb. Like he tries to do the same jump like 40 times, and I've seen people watching this as reviewing his gameplay. They'd be like, "Dude, jump over the chain! Jump over the chain! Dean, jump over the fucking chain!"
Oh wow!
It's so bad. So. Like, he's just not good. He's not good at games, but he reviews them.
Are you familiar with, I don't want to give this guy too much attention, but are you familiar with DSP?
DSP? No.
Dark Side Phil.
No.
Okay. Maybe check out some of his videos.
Why
he's the type of guy who sucks at video games and will just blame the game to hell. Like,
really?
Yeah, like, oh my god, why is this mechanic so shitty, or like this game is bugged, or it's ridiculous.
So
or
he sucks and he tries to blame everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the area he totally fucks up the entire thing. This is hilarious. He'll do the same jump at least 30 times. And he'll pull up the map like 50 times because he'll get lost every 5 steps. It's absolutely insanity. Come on, shoot the bad guy. Come on.
Why is he being so conservative with his shots?
It's a Doom game, I don't know! And he jumps back and forth. Oh, what's this thing? Oh, I can't open it. Oh, what's that? What's this thing? I'm being shot at. Going to fall. Completely missing all of his shots. Center! Center, Dean! Come on, Dean! It's so bad. It's so bad. And this guy gets paid for... Oh, we're in the lava now. Alright, jump over the chain, Dean. This is a guy that gets paid to review games.
Yeah, Man. There is so much potential.
Is he gonna die? I don't remember if he dies or not, but God, he got close there, didn't he?
Like, I feel like if this can be something you get paid for, like, we should get paid for Mystery Science.
I mean, if we get enough viewers, we will.
Yeah.
I should get paid for learning to play games. If you can...
Tara, I have every confidence that you would play this game much better than he does.
I think it's just not acceptable if you're going to comment on games to not be good at them.
And that's the huge controversy. Like, and that's why a lot of people are getting upset that a lot of these games now are releasing games with the quote-unquote story difficulty. Because what ends up happening is people say the only reason they put that in there is so people who don't know how to play games can actually complete it and review the game. Like, you're missing out on so much of the game if you make it like, you know, just press a button and win. Like, yeah. Like a game like people demanded, and mostly games journals, they gave Sekiro a hard time about this. They demanded Sekiro have an easier difficulty, an easy mode. And people are like, no, because that's not what Sekiro is. It's supposed to be a challenging game. You know? You're not supposed to just be able to one-click and win. That's not what the whole base... Look at him. He's jumping the same thing over and over again.
Like, for all of the issues with DMC, like that shitty ass reboot or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be, one of the biggest things was how easy they made it to attract, you know, more generic gamers. And it's like, the DMC is supposed to be a hard game. Like, it's fucking stupid. But that game has so many issues. I could go on about that.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the DMC reboot, but it like I said, it still comes down to the fact that I don't think a journalist should have to be like some sort of professional gaming master.
He has to be someone who enjoys what he's doing and is actually competent at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, he might be enjoying himself, but I don't, just because somebody enjoys driving a car doesn't mean they should be able to, you know, critique somebody who drives NASCAR.
Yeah.
They have to be competent at least to be able to, you know, do it at that level. Same with the gaming stuff. If you can't beat a game on normal, you shouldn't review it.
Yeah.
If you require an ultra uber mega easy mode to beat the game, you shouldn't be reviewing it. That's just, you know, that's how I look at it. I'm not asking you to beat it on the highest difficulty, but you should be able to play it as the developers intended for the majority of the population to enjoy the game at.
Okay, so Soul Creek sent me a Cuphead link.
Oh yeah, the Cuphead tutorial is even worse than this.
Right.
It's so bad. But the Cuphead one is the one that sparked this, and then this is just Dean being Dean again.
Where was it sent to?
Maybe in a DM.
Was it in a...
It might have sent in a Whisper.
Whisper? Damn it. You can't even see whispers on this new dashboard? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're kind of hidden. It's kind of weird.
No, I don't have a whisper either. Where did you send it, Soul Creek?
I don't know, but you lost my face, by the way. Now I see
did, yeah.
There you go. Twitch chat, he says.
Twitch chat. Did I miss it?
I don't see it. Unless it blocks your...
Oh, is that the one where you said the music of the Cuphead tutorial? Because with the 3 stars, because that's the link that's probably blocked. Just whisper it.
No, your wife, I don't think I'm even this bad. No, sweetheart, you could do better than this guy, easy. Like, and from what I understand, from all everything that anybody's ever talked to Mr. Dean or Mr. Takahashi, I don't want to be disrespectful. Like I'm poking him, jiving at him, but it is a problem. But from all intents and purposes, from people who have interacted with him, he's a really nice guy. He does care about gaming and the gaming community in his own way. Maybe has some different viewpoints that other people don't, but he's still not, I don't think, qualified to review the game. That's the problem. You know, it's just what it comes down to.
You can be the nicest person in the world. If you're not qualified, you're not qualified.
Like I wouldn't consider myself qualified to review a JRPG, considering the fact that I am playing probably the 3rd JRPG I've ever played in my entire life. I may be enjoying the hell out of fucking Xenoblade 2 Chronicles, and I might actually be stumbling my way through it, but I don't know the JRPG culture. I don't know the JRPG game histories and stuff behind that, so I'm not really qualified to review it. I would never try to review it. You know, just like I wouldn't expect somebody who plays only shooters to review something like Baldur's Gate. You know, that's just how you have to look at everything. But a lot of these journalists think they should be reviewing anything all the time, and every game should have an uber easy mode just so they can have, you know, the ability to review it. So, this is Oak City now sent a whisper. So
yeah, I just pulled up the video.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, and it sounds like you guys agree with that viewpoint.
What the hell? What?
Oh my god.
Oh, you're wild. This is so good. This is so good. Even Tara's laughing. I love it. He can't figure it out. Like, he's just... Come on.
The buttons are right on the screen.
Jump on the block and press Y. Like, it's to the point where it's almost infuriating. It's just like you want to reach through and be like, come on. Okay, there you go.
He's not even good at following directions, clearly.
Like, can he even read?
Oh, it's so bad.
I mean, I know one guy that we won't feel bad shitting on is DSP, so.
Man.
So bad. Like,
he's thinking.
Here's my thing. How do you even release this Like, at what point do you just not?
I think this was done live. He was actually there with the developers talking about the game.
Oh, wow.
And he still couldn't figure it out.
What the fuck were the developers saying while this was happening?
They were probably saying, hey, everybody save this for the bloopers video after the end of development.
Oh, we finally made it. Oh, that was exhausting.
But I don't know. And then the Doom one, the Doom Eternal one, he put up on his YouTube, and like I said, as soon as it started hitting the fan that people were making fun of him, he took it down. But by then, once you put it on the internet, it's
it's there forever.
So he did it. Oh man! But now he has to shoot the thing. Come on, Dean.
Oh no!
No, not jump. Shoot! Come on! Right bumper lock.
Oh god!
Oh no! He'll never. Oh, he got that better than I expected. Oh, he won't get up there though.
Oh, he did it.
No. Now he has to go. Come on!
Oh, that was it.
Come on! Oh my god!
All right.
Oh, wow. So that's interesting.
But yeah, it seems like you guys are on the same page. You should be confident at the game you play.
Yeah.
Did we have anything else we want to talk about?
Where are we at uptime?
We're at 2 hours.
Oh wow, okay, so right about where we need to be. Well, I wanted to let people know what's coming out here soon that I've been keeping an eye on. Games wise, unless there's any games you guys were keeping track of too.
Games coming out?
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing to end the show on, of games to look out for.
I don't know anything for February. What do you have?
Well, I have the Disintegration game I told you guys about. That's they're doing the beta right now, the 2-day beta, which is really weird to me. Then Savage Planet just got released on PC. I think it's coming to console not too long from now, or if it might have already released on console now. But it just came out like yesterday. And then Wilson, a game I've been following, an RPG on Steam. Was supposed to come out in January, got delayed till February. It comes out on the 13th of February. Looks to be a really fun game. It's an ARPG with some really interesting mechanics. I think it'll be a lot of fun to check out. And then I'll give a shout out to Temtem. That's in early access now. If you like Pokemon.
Yeah, I think with the if we want to do the group thing, I'm down for Temtem. That looks interesting. So
yeah, we can probably give it a shot. I might, like I said, maybe I can get Nerdy White to play Atara. She can probably.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, those are the only ones. Like February is not a big month in my opinion. There's not a whole lot. Let me look at my list again to make sure. But February is kind of meh. There's some things coming to Switch like Darksiders, Genesis, and stuff. But Yakuza 5, if you're a Yakuza fan. But
I thought 5 was already out.
Oh, is it already out? What's it coming to?
No, I might just be. I'm lost on the series, so I thought 5 was already. Like it already happened. I don't know.
I've never been a Yakuza guy. I don't think I've played them.
Yeah, I'm playing. I mean, Judgment right now that I'm playing is based off of that series. So.
Well, Kingdom Hearts: The Three Kingdoms comes out in February.
Okay. That's top of my list.
It's a whole nother game?
Wait, Kingdom Hearts what?
The Three Kingdoms.
What is that?
Oh wait! Oh no! I'm sorry. No, that's not Kingdom Hearts. It's just Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. I got gamer.
Did you hear how high pitched you got him?
I was so excited.
Reach through the thing and kill somebody. Sorry, I thought that said Kingdom Hearts, but no, I read Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind comes out February 25th.
I was so ready for another Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god, I'm sure you were. But yeah, there's not a whole lot in February. March kind of starts the big.
Happy early birthday, Mr. Soul Creek.
Yeah, I'm still undecided on if I want to do Persona.
Oh, don't do that, Tara. I learned this from, I think, another German. Don't wish a German a happy early birthday. It's bad luck.
Oh.
Oh, you bitch.
Yeah, it's actually really bad luck. I did that to another German friend of mine, Kegrin, and he was like, don't do that.
Oh, okay. Bad things. I take it back. I hope you have the worst birthday.
Well, fuck your birthday.
Does that cancel out the bad juju?
I don't think so, but you just have to wish them a birthday on their birthday. If you do it early, it's bad luck.
Okay.
So you can't say fuck your birthday?
I mean, you could.
Okay.
But he says thank you then. You tried.
Okay. Well,
that's how we won World War II. We wished them happy birthday early.
fantastic. I have to say, when somebody tells me about their birthday, it's like a programmed response. Like,
yeah, I never say happy early.
In
birthday.
America, yeah, for Americans, it very much
well,
is. But
it's not his birthday yet, and what if I don't see him or talk to
that's
him?
very true. I think that's how Americans think. Like, if I don't see you, happy birthday then. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whereas Germans are like, oh, if I don't see you, fuck you.
Well, I mean, it's Germans. Gotta love them, but, it's German.
They have good beer.
They have some of the best beer.
My
Belgian beer is very good, too, though.
Great grandparents. Wait. Great grandparents immigrated here from Germany
Well, there you go.
through the port of Galveston.
So maybe through us turning you into a gamer, we'll release your inner German rage.
AD, where'd your great-great-grandparents come from?
Inner German rage. Have you not seen her rage yet? Damn.
There's nothing inner about it.
Really? I haven't
It's
really
inner
seen
and
it.
external.
That's true. You haven't seen it.
I
It
haven't
was a
really
lot
seen
more
the
prominent in her beginnings of
I had to
learning.
learn how to.
She had to learn how to not blame the game for her.
I had to
sucking.
learn
But
how to
did-
not blame the game. I also had to learn how to just know that you aren't going to do everything perfect the first
Did
time.
she do better than Dean, though?
She would have gotten through the Cuphead tutorial
I would have.
because she knows how to press buttons that they tell you to press.
Yeah, I'm pretty
the
good
screen.
at when the
Screen?
button is on
On
the
the screen,
screen,
yeah.
pressing it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You have that above Dean, then.
Yes.
Good job.
So my review column will be coming out any day now.
There you go.
Just kidding.
There you go. I think we're going to just call that from now on. That's going to be our phrase on the channel. If somebody just utterly screws something up, they're just they're deaning it.
You're deaning
That's
it.
what they're doing. They're deaning it. Yeah. You didn't
I
have
like
that
that.
catch on. You're deaning it. It's a Takahashi.
It's a Takahashi.
You're such a Takahashi. Well, I think I'm done. You guys done?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good.
Well, everyone, if you want to avoid spoilers, we will now talk about the Super Bowl. I'm kidding.
I was
like,
I don't know.
What do you
I don't
know
if
about
anybody
the
saw my
Super Bowl?
face. Like, I don't even know who's playing.
49ers and the Chiefs.
This is the Super Bowl spoiler podcast.
Okay.
Oh my god!
All right. We're done? We're
That's
done.
not a bad idea, nerdy
I think
wife.
we're done.
Nerdy wife.
Was
What?
it? Review a game, see how hard it is for a first time gamer.
Be a noob perspective.
A noob review.
We could start a column like noob game reviews, like for people to see how easy this game is for them to get into if they're new to the game.
a noob view.
I
Noob
like
view.
it.
A noob view.
Noob
There we
view.
go. There we go. I like that too. A noob view. Good work.
I agree, Ryu. Screw the Cowboys.
I mean, that's fine and all. But like the Cowboys weren't even in the playoffs, so I don't know why everybody's
I
so
don't know.
mad at them.
I can't say anything
Because
about the
of
team that I
Cowboys,
like.
everyone hates the Cowboys.
They haven't made it to the playoffs in like 20 years. So,
It's
Yeah.
fine.
But-
Mike
but
McCarthy
they
is
did-
going to
but-
bring us home next year.
but they are the only team that have had they're an undefeated season. Back in like 1985 or whatever it was.
It's fine.
Go Dolphins. Go Dolphins.
Everything's fine.
Imagine living in Texas your entire life and hating the Cowboys. That's what I got to deal with. Okay,
Alright.
that's our show. I'm going to sign
Alright.
off now.
We're doing outros.
All right, thank you everyone for hanging out for the Untitled Nerd Show. We are Player 22, AD, Tara, and Chris. This is Nerdy
I'm
Farmer.
Nerdy Farmer.
Bye.
Give both of us a follow if you aren't already.
All right.
We see you guys in
Alright.
2 weeks.
Smile and wave.
Smile
boys.
and wave.
Smile and wave.